let's get started. So yeah, hi, my name is Anthony Zupnik, and I'm going to be talking to you about notebook templating and give you an introduction to the notebook templating system. This originally was going to be like a workshop, but I realized that there wasn't enough time to actually do a good workshop. So this is an introduction to the feature set that exists for notebook templating, including some of the new features that we added relatively recently. So the first thing is, what is notebook templating? It's a system that allows you to create reports using a template. And I'll show you what these templates look like. But obviously, like in business, you may want to create a report, of course, and you want to fill out from a template. Otherwise, it's very laborious to have to create a document every single time. So the notebook templating system allows you to feed in data and ingest your template with certain values. Again, I'll show you this. And these templates are created from notebooks instead of just like raw code, which is quite nice. So I should mention that there are other names for notebook templating, which starts to get confusing for people because notebook templating had a different name back in the day, I guess. So we've got three names for notebook templating. Notebook templating is the official Paclet name. Report generation is the old name that we used and people still use it. And there's also document generation as well. And this is like indicative of some of the functions we have. So we have, a document generator function, a generate document function. So that's why these names kind of exist and they're still hanging around. So what have I added in version 13? So I'm looking at an extensive list of bugs that I have fixed. I won't go into details for which bugs these are. We've redesigned the doc cell and for the desktop, and also updated it for the cloud. The cloud version is going to look a little bit different because some features don't work in the cloud. So the generate document function, let me just show you what an example looks like. So in the example data, you can find a basic template. So our basic template looks like this. So we have one of these things, which I'll talk about in more detail here, a notebook template slot, and a notebook template expression. And so the notebook template expression like fills out in line, and so does the slot, but it doesn't do any evaluation. So the generate document function, when we run it, creates our fills out the author as Henry Jones, and it gives it today's date. So let's talk about some of these buttons. So the generate button is pretty self-explanatory. It can just generate a report with default values. So I've created a notebook here. I can put in some values if I want to, and I'll push this generate button, and it's not going to do anything particularly interesting, because I haven't got any data that I'm filling in. So this is good just to test to see like how the output will be. Not useful otherwise, because the reports are pretty much always going to be exactly the same. So the expression button, this is button here on the top right hand side, allows you to fill in an expression at a given point in the cell. So there's an expression date string. I can click this expression button. It puts this like nice box around, and when I evaluate this code, we didn't get anything. Do I have to save this file? There we go. So yeah, we'll see that inline in this text cell, we've just gotten a date here filled in. So the reason why this would be good, I suppose, is if you was today's date like this, and we can regenerate this, and we'll have to save today's date, and then it gives this date. So that's like inline expressions. Slots. So slots is where you want to fill in from your data. So let's get a slot. So we've got a slot value called sum value. So I can call sum value here and click this slot button, and sum value 2. So sum value 2 slot, and I can just do this squared. So now in generate document, in the second parameter, I've got some data. So I've got some value is hello world, and some value 2 is 100. And I think I've got to save. So I run this, and we'll see that it's slotted in hello world. And you see it slots in the input cell the value 100. And so it has a 100 squared, and then that gets evaluated to 10,000. So conditional block. So let's say we have a data set. So here we have a data set with a name, a gender, and an age. And we may want to have a condition. So we click the conditional block button, and we can put in an expression that is that can be some kind of condition. So I could just use the word the expression true. So what this means, I don't know why this doesn't show up correctly. Just give me 1 second. My computer is using this new webcam, which is using up a lot of my resources, and it's making things go pretty slowly. So I've got to save this, run this code, and we'll see that it's filled out the name and the age from this data. But I could change this to false. So let me just change this to false and save. And then we generate the document. And what we see is the data isn't showing based on the condition being false. So you can start to make these a bit more advanced, which I will show you shortly. So repeating blocks. So let's say we've got a bigger data set. We've got 3 names: Topher, Sally, and Julio. 2 males, a female. We've got some ages, and we've got some sales numbers. So we'll open this up, and I filled out most of this stuff already. So basically, I want to loop over a list of values. So the list of values is going to be this list here, which is going to be the names, the ages, and the sales numbers. So basically, I want to show each person's name, get a date list plot of their sales, and then I've even added a condition, like an expression which says if they are male, it will say his, otherwise it says her sales, her sales numbers. Right. So one thing I have to do is click on the repeating block, and I'm looping over the list which is called data. So it's called data here. And you can't see this, which there's some graphical glitch, but basically it says repeating block looping over data. So I think I have to save, and then I run this. And what we have is we have a report that was generated on October 2021. We've got Topher's sale numbers, which are looking pretty good. Sally's, which is looking pretty bad. And Julio's, which are mixed. And you can see like a plot for Julio showing his sales numbers, a plot for Sally showing her sales numbers. So that's pretty nice. Now, I'll do a little combination here just to show you how this like the repeating and conditional blocks can be used together. So we've got the same data that we have up here, and we just want to show the sales for, let's say, people over the age of 31. So first of all, I want to write a repeating block which loops over data. And then I want to have a conditional block where I say the notebook template slot of age is more than, we said 30. So let me just redo this to get the graphics come up correctly. So we're looping over data, and the condition for inclusion is age over 30. So if I run this, it's this one here. I think I have to save. If I run this, we should just get the sales data for people over the age of 30. So that was Topher, yeah, it says he's 40, and Julio, who is 31. So this has worked correctly. So how much time have we got? 10 minutes, plenty of time. So cell behavior. So cell behavior is, if you want to do something specific to a cell, like, before, like, well, after evaluation, essentially. So let me just show you what this is. So no cell behavior, we don't add anything. But let's say we want to add evaluate and delete to 1+1. That will evaluate the code and delete the input cell. Let's say we want to evaluate and hide. So that will evaluate and then hide the input cell. Leave unevaluated will prevent the evaluation of that cell, and exclude cell, so this is good for like annotating your reports, will exclude the cell from evaluation. So that's quite good. And the final thing is, you can apply these cell behaviors to a group. So I'm going to apply evaluate and hide to a cell group. So that means everything under here will be evaluated and then hidden. So let's save this and generate document. So the no cell behavior, as you can see, just evaluates as normal. Evaluate and delete. You can see that there's only the output cell. Evaluate and hide. The input cell has been hidden. Leave unevaluated, no evaluation. Exclude cell, there's nothing there. And then the evaluate and hide group has been hidden, and we can open each individual cell up, and we can see each individual input cell has also been hidden. So this is some like powerful stuff that we've got. So final button is the generated options button, and that allows you to like apply some options to the notebook after evaluation. So what this means is we can look at some of the examples. So you may want to like have the show bracket, you want to be able to have your like notebook be editable, or have the cell bracket showing, while you've got your template open, but when you generate your report, you want these things to disappear. So I'm going to turn editable to false, show cell bracket to false, and we can see in the advanced options what this looks like. editable to false, show cell bracket to false. And I've actually got a special option here for this presentation specifically that causes after generation for my notebook to be generated in this bottom right-hand corner, which is extremely useful. So now I run this, and this is evaluated, and wait, I didn't save. Okay. Save. So you can see that the cell bracket is gone, and I can't edit any of these cells. So this is good if you want to make reports that people can't accidentally overwrite cells. So other types of deployment. So this is, we're just deploying, directly to the, the desktop interface. No files are being saved. Each file that's created, is an untitled notebook, which you then have to save. So you may want to save as a file. If you want to do that, you use essentially the second parameter. So let's get our expression notebook that we had before. And what we're going to do is save this file to where my notebook is and call it hello.notebook. So this is evaluated. You can see that it's saved to this file. We can open up Finder to see where it is. And you can see that there's my hello notebook. And I can open this up. And this was generated at this time, which is good. You can tell this is live, you see. I think. So yeah. So that's if you want to just deploy as a file. You can deploy to the cloud. So here I'm just going to deploy, the same notebook to the cloud. So it generates and deploys to the cloud. And let me just bring it up over here. We can see this has been freshly generated 20 seconds ago. So another thing you may want to do is, schedule reports in the cloud so that a report runs every day. And you would use the document generator function to do this. So I've got this, this basic template that we had that I showed you first. I've created this document generator, and this document generator, it hasn't run the report. I've actually specified in the second parameter that I never want it to run, that I want to run it on demand. So to run it on demand, I can use task execute. And we can, you can either click on this link and it brings up this, information, which you can look at. My internet's being kind of slow here. So while we wait for that, I'll show you the document generator information function, which shows you the same kind of thing. Okay, so, let's have a look at this first. So we see that this has been executed 2 times. We've got some information here. There's a bunch of different items that you can look at, but there's a run button, and you can look at your previous output and things like that. The document generator information function shows something similar, and we can see the current output, which is the last output here. We click on this link, and we see it was created by John Smith at 4:49 p.m. And we can look at the template. So that means, you can keep the same document generator, but update the template as and when. And there are a bunch of other, there's a lot of things you can do here. So, okay, so that was the document generator information function. So that's pretty much, all of the features that exist. There's a lot of information that I've supplied here. There's lots of different things that you can do with the notebook templating Paclet. It's actually quite advanced. So, my plan for the future is to create a notebook templating course And please let me know if you're interested in this, by the way. That will persuade my manager that this is a good idea. As I've been kind of like making this course on and off for a few months now, but I've just been doing bits and pieces here and there. So there are a bunch of optimizations and bug fixes that I want to implement. These bugs are like minor. Like, this is very robust software, I think, but there are just minor hiccups here and there, and there are quality of life improvements I'd like to implement. And one of the major outstanding things is updating notebook templating in the cloud. I won't lie to you, it doesn't, as of right now, a lot of the buttons don't actually work in the cloud for editing templates. So the doc cell is stripping out all the buttons that don't work for now until these issues get resolved. Generate document works perfectly in the cloud, by the way. It's just editing templates, which is a bit broken. So that's the future, and that's the talk. This went a lot faster than I thought, but yeah. In conclusion, notebook templating can be very versatile. I wanted to give this talk because a lot of people don't know about this software, because there hasn't been a talk in years been given about this. So I wanted to raise awareness of the notebook templating Paclet. I say there's too much to cover in 25 minutes. I guess I've actually done it a little bit quicker, but I would have liked to include much more information and go into use cases and talk about some user stories and things like that. But I didn't think I was going to have the time. And yeah, questions and feedback are welcome. I'm the main developer here, so I'm more than happy to hear from people, like how to improve this, how you use this, how you would like to use this. So yeah, please let me know. So yeah, does anyone have any questions? Okay. Can I generate a PDF in the cloud from a template? Yes. Yeah, you would use generate document, and then you could just use export to generate the PDF. Will the slides be available? Yes. So there's already a version of the talk which I call talk version 0.9 already in the files tab. I am going to update this with the completed completed templates, so that you don't have to guess what I did to reproduce that template information. Will document generator be replaced by information at some point? I do not know that. I do not work on document generator specifically. I imagine that it will be yes, because information is supposed to be all encompassing, so it does make sense. Okay, any other questions? Can I generate it in a PDF using the Wolfram Cloud? Okay, I think I already answered the similar question. When text data is inserted into a template, does it inherit star specifications from the original? No, not if it's if you've got text data that's like if it's got the style expression in it, it will inherit whatever expression you've put in. So if you've got text date, style, some text bold or whatever, it should inherit that. It's not something that I've done recently, but if it doesn't work, let me know. How does it get the data? Was it from the selection? Can you get the data from a file as well? The only way that you can get data from a file is currently by importing, using import and doing that yourself. It would be nice to be able to import like a MX file or some, Wolfram expression file to get the data. That's something that I'll talk to my boss about and see if we can I can do that. Should the generate button do an automatic save of the notebook? I don't think so. The generate button is the generate button. It shouldn't need to be saved. I think the reason why I was having to save each time is because I was referencing the file name in generate document. So that means it goes and imports the file and generates the document. If you reference the notebook object, then it will generate whatever's in the notebook or object currently. It was just my mistake from presenting. Okay, so that's why I was saving the source notebook before generating the notebooks. Okay, well, that was a lot of questions there. Answered, I think that was all of them. Yeah, I know that's what you meant, Danny, about the function name. I think it makes sense to change the function name for document generator information to information. It seems fine. Great. Okay. Well,
Anthony, I think there was one more. Vince had a question about CloudGet or Cloud Symbol for importing data. It sounds like, I think.
CloudGet or CloudGet or Cloud for importing data, as in, oh right, so if you wanted to do generate document, and then you had some you had some notebook, and then you wanted to feed in some data, you could use CloudGet, I guess. I think that would work, or Cloud. I think Cloud Symbol also will work as well. I think those things would work as long as the expression is of the correct format for generate document. So currently, generate document requires a list or a list of rules, or an association, which has to be rules by definition. So hopefully that answers all your questions. We are now out of time. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you found this useful. Let me know if you have any additional questions. I will be around to answer any more.